Hello and welcome, my dear students, to my channel Mathematics Made Easy. This is Ms. Ritika welcoming you to today's session, especially for Grade 10 Elite. As most of you were requesting me, I'm giving you today the exam coverage for the free response question, the long questions. This is a much requested video and it has taken me a lot of effort and time to make this video. So I would really appreciate if you would give a thumbs up, if you would just share this with your friends, and if you would subscribe to the channel. So let's get started. This is going to be a long video. Please stay glued till the end to understand these questions better. And in this video today, we are covering learning objective 16, where you determine the number and type of roots of a quadratic equation. In this session today, we will start with question 53, 54, and we will proceed till question 58. The key concept in these questions would be to use the discriminant. Now, I would quickly revise for you what is discriminant before we solve these questions. So, discriminant generally you find for a quadratic equation. So, the formula to find the discriminant is given by you can write your discriminant with capital D, and the formula is b square minus 4ac. Now you might be wondering what are these a, b, c. So if you have a quadratic equation in standard form of the form ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, you can compare it with the numbers given in the question and get your a, B, and C. Once you get your A, B, C, you can plug in these values in the formula for discriminant, use your calculator and get the values. Now for question 53, before we start, it clearly mentions use the discriminant. So definitely you have to learn this formula and use it while you solve this question. And you need to determine which of these equations is different from the other. So it's like find the odd one out. Also, you need to explain your reasoning means because it is a free response question. You need to show your steps and show your working very clearly. Now, if you see carefully, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 different quadratic equations are given to you. So for each of these quadratic equation, you will use the formula for discriminant to find the discriminant, and accordingly, as we will solve this question together in the next slide, you will see that the discriminant for 3 of them will come out to be positive, whereas the discriminant for one of them will come out to be negative, and that is the basic difference. Therefore, the equation which is different from the others would be the one in which your discriminant comes out to be negative. So let's use this formula for discriminant and find it for all these equations. Now, before I proceed to the next slide and we start finding the discriminant, the first step which I will explain you here would be to identify the values of A, B, and C. So notice A is the number which is the coefficient of the x square term. So here in this question, your A would be nothing but 1. Here A would be 12. Here A would be 12 again, and here A would be 7. I hope you're able to identify. Similarly, we'll identify B and C. B is the coefficient of the x term. So here B is going to be minus 3. Here B is going to be minus 1. Here B is going to be 2. And here B is going to be 6. So I hope you're able to identify. If this is x, the coefficient or the number, you also take the sign with it. So if you take minus 3, it's correct, but if you just skip the sign and take plus 3, it will give you a wrong answer. So make sure you are selecting your A, B, and C correctly. Similarly, C is just the number which does not have any variable, so the number here is minus 40. C is minus 6. C is minus 4, as you see here, and then here it is 2. Now that you have got your ABC, you will be able to use the formula for discriminant. Use your calculator, find the discriminant for all of them, and just see which one is different from the other. So that is how you solve the question. Let's do it in the next slide. Okay, so now let's check your answers. Let's find the discriminant. We already found the values of A, B, and C, and we looked at the formula. So for the discriminant, let me just divide this into 4 parts so that it's easy to compare between the discriminants. So b square minus 4ac, when you plug in the values, this is what you should be getting. Please check your answers. So this whole thing will come out to be 169. So this is positive. Let's find discriminant for the second equation. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for this one, the discriminant will come out to be minus 1 square minus 4 times 12 multiplied with minus 6. So this is 289. Again, this is positive. Now for the third equation, the discriminant will come out to be 2 square minus 4 times 12 multiplied with minus 4. Again, do the calculation, use your calculator, and this is also positive. So that means the answer is going to be the fourth equation. In this case, the discriminant will come out to be negative. So let's check your answers. So use the formula b squared minus 4ac, plug in the values correctly, and use your calculator. So this is coming out to be negative as expected. So which one is the odd one out? Which one is the different from the others? Definitely this one. So your answer is that because this equation, the discriminant is negative, whereas in all these three, discriminant was positive. So this is the one which is your answer. Therefore, this equation 7x squared plus 6x plus 2 equal to 0 is your answer. This one is different from the other three because it has two complex roots. Why complex roots? Because when discriminant is negative, we will have complex root. So the remaining three options will have positive discriminant, therefore their roots will be rational. Okay, these will have non-zero roots. So this is how you identify the difference for this question. Let's solve now the HOTS question, higher order thinking skills, question 54. Here you see two blue boxes. One is the solution that Tama has done. The second is what Jonathan has done. So you have two people here who have tried to find the number of solutions for this quadratic equation. Okay. Now this quadratic equation, step one, is not in standard form. So I gave you in the last slide that the standard form for a quadratic equation is this one. That means here your A, B and C are not together. So we need to move them. So 3x squared minus 5x is already there, but this 7 is on the right side, which is your value of C. So we are going to move it to the left side. So it becomes this one. Now we are able to identify A, B, and C carefully. So how much is your A? 3, B is minus 5, and C is minus 7. This is the first correct step for the question. Now you need to check who is correct, Tama or Jonathan, and also explain your reason. So look at what Tama has done. Let's see. So Tama has taken the value of A to be minus 5, which is, sorry, the value of A to be 3, which is correct. Then he took B to be minus 5, which is correct. But C value he took as 7, not minus 7, because he is trying to calculate discriminant. This is the value of discriminant, we all know. So let's calculate the correct answer first. So yes, we plug in 5. B as minus 5, then we plug in the value of A, which is 3, then C, which is 7. Now let's simplify this, and when you open the brackets, multiply, use your calculator, this will come out to be a positive value, 109. But here, because Tama did a mistake, he took the wrong value of C. He did not convert this equation into standard form, which is this one, where your A, B, C all are together on one side. Therefore, his answer is wrong. So this boy, Tama, is definitely wrong. Let's see what Jonathan has done. Yes, he moved the 7 on the left hand side. He convert to standard form, use the correct value, and 109 is the correct answer which he got. So definitely, who is correct here? Jonathan. So Jonathan is correct, and the reason why he is correct is because he took the correct values of A, B, C, and then he found his discriminant correctly. As you see, he has got the correct answer, 109, and he did not make the mistake of taking C as 7. The correct value of C is minus 7, whereas Tama did it wrong. He took C as 7, which was not right. Okay, so Jonathan is correct. So now on this slide, I have given you the answer key for question 53 and 54. I hope you found the video useful and you understood how to solve these kind of questions. Okay, now let's solve question 55 together. It has two parts. I will be doing one part for you, and then I will provide you the answer key to check your B part. So just understand the method. If you understand the method, it will be becoming very easy for you. Now these questions also require your knowledge of discriminant. So as I already gave you the formula, B squared minus 4AC. This is your discriminant formula. So we will use this to solve the question. So let's do 55 part. So what does it say? You have to check whether each statement is sometimes, always, or never true. So only one will be your correct answer. And then you need to explain your reasoning, show the steps. So in a quadratic equation written in standard form, so let's write it first. Ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. This is your quadratic equation in standard form. Okay. Now, if A and C have different signs, that means your A and C are opposite signs. So what can be the options? So one option is A is positive, B is negative, or A is negative, B is positive. Like that option can be there. So in any which case, the product A multiplied with C will always be negative, right? Because even if one is negative, the product will be negative. So this should be less than 0. Now what we are trying to see, we are trying to see the sign for the discriminant. What will be the sign in this case when A and C have opposite signs? So as I already told you, when A and C have opposite signs, the product is going to be negative. Therefore, we can say minus 4AC. Why I did minus 4? Because this term I'm trying to evaluate, because I'm trying to reach my discriminant. I'm trying to decide whether the sign of discriminant will be positive and negative, and accordingly I could say whether the solution will be real or imaginary. Okay. So minus 4, if I multiply a negative number with a negative, it will become positive. So therefore, when I multiply minus 4 to this AC, it will become positive. So this thing is positive. Also, b square, if I add to this, b square is the square of a number. It cannot be negative. Therefore, we can easily and confidently say that this discriminant value, in the case when A and C have opposite signs, will always be positive. So if this is happening, that your discriminant is coming positive, can it be negative in any case? No, never. It cannot be negative. Therefore, the solution can never be imaginary. And if discriminant is positive, then we are very sure, we are very confident that the solutions will be real. There's no way it can be imaginary, and because my discriminant is non-zero or positive, this is quite sure. So that means this statement is very true. It's always true. So the answer for question 55 A part would be, we had to select sometimes, always, or never true. So this one is always true. So the answer is that the statement given in question 55 part A is always true. Now in a similar manner, try question 55 and watch this video till the end, because that is where I will provide you the answer key for this one. Let's now similarly solve question 57, and then 58 you will try yourself and check the answer key. So I will do 57 for you. Pay attention. So here the quadratic equation which is given to you, let's first write it in standard form. So 1 times x square. Why did I write 1? Because I want my ABC to be very, very clear. And then you have your x, which is also having coefficient 1, and then you have your number which is m plus 1. So I just combine these two and I write it. So now let's compare with standard form. So it's quite easy for you to identify that your A is 1, your B is also 1, whereas your C is the number m plus 1. So I use A as 1, B as 1, and C as m plus 1 in my discriminant formula. I'm trying to find my discriminant formula, you're already aware. So let's plug in. B is 1, A is also 1, and C is m plus 1. So let's open the brackets, multiply. What do we get? So this is 1 minus 4 times m plus 1. When you have multiplication, you can always distribute. So I do that. So this whole thing comes out to be 1 minus 4m minus 4. Combine the like terms. So the whole value is minus 4m minus 3. Now what is given? Find the values of m in this quadratic equation, the one that we just took, such that it has one solution. So if it has one solution, then the discriminant has to be 0. This is the condition. So for one solution or equal roots, discriminant has to be equal to 0. So that means this whole thing, the one that we found, has to be 0. So let's find the value of m. This is my m value. I will move it on the other side. It will convert to positive. So 4m is minus 3. Divide both sides with 4 because I need my value of m. This goes. So my m is minus 0.75. So this is how you get your value of m from the question using the discriminant formula. Now try question 58. I will be giving you the quadratic formula for that, which you will use to solve the question. Okay, so this is the answer key as I promised you for this learning objective 16, question 55 to 58. And yes, you have to also learn the quadratic formula. I will write it here. And this quadratic formula will help you for question 58. So it says you can find the value of x, or you can find the roots, or you can find the solution if you use the quadratic formula. So what is this formula? Minus b plus minus under square. This is square root actually. D times 2a. What is this d? D is your discriminant. You already know b square minus 4ac. So you have to use this formula, and then you will be getting your question 58 with this one. So the two roots that you will get for question 58 will be x equal to 5 and x equal to minus 3. Again, you will just plug in the values of a, b and c by using the equation and get your answer. So that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you found the video useful and you understood learning objective 16 with this session. Until then, this is Ms. Ruchika signing off from today's session, wishing you all the best for your tomorrow's exam. Do well.